Hi everyone, I'm Tristan Tetru, editor of Strandlines, and with me today is Canon Peter, the head parish of St. Mary-Le-Strand. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thank you, Tristan. It's really good to see you, and welcome to St. Mary-Le-Strand. It's an amazing place, right at the heart of this Strand-Aldwych district, and I'm the priest in charge here. Been here since last September.
I was curious to know, and I guess others would also like to know a bit, if you could tell us about your journey as a parish, or how did you begin to be in as a parish?
So I've been ordained 22 years this year, but originally I was an industrial chemist. I always loved chemistry growing up, and all my sort of education was very scientific. I did a degree in chemistry, worked for a year for a company developing and testing packaging materials. Had a great year, but actually during that time I thought, this isn't going to be my life's work. And although I'd grown up in the church, my faith kind of came alive, if you like, after I left home, really. So having realised that after all, chemistry wasn't going to be the thing I did all my life, I thought maybe serving in ministry in the church. So a few friends had been saying to me, have you thought about being a vicar? And originally I said no way, and then after a while I said, well, perhaps so. I then did 4 years working with people with brain injuries and behavioural problems in a residential care setting. While I explored vocation, and while I suppose learned how to work with people instead of test tubes, and then I went to study theology. So I had to do a second degree of sort of theology for ministry, and then I went back to Birmingham, where I served what's called a curacy, and then I've been a parish priest in Birmingham. My last parish, I was 18 years in the parish of Bourneville, where the Cadbury chocolate factory is. And that was a great place to live. But then I thought it's time for a change, and here I am, here.
Wow, that's a very big change, very big changes. That's really incredible. I was wondering, what changes do you notice then from Birmingham coming here now to London, like a very different setting? And city as well as location, right, in the centre of London.
Yeah, it has been quite a big change. Well, I grew up I grew up in rural Lincolnshire, so I'm a bit of a country boy at heart, but I have been in Birmingham as a city all my adult life. Bourneville had a kind of quite a villagey feel about 4 miles from the city centre. So it is a bit of a change to be right in the middle of London, and I still quite I still feel like a small town boy sometimes. I'm still excited to see the names of the roads of the ones on the Monopoly board. So I walk down Fleet Street and here's the Strand, and then there's Trafalgar Square. That's all. It's very exciting, and so many amazing landmarks. And just down there, just to the south, is the River Thames, and all these. I love walking down the South Bank, and you can see Tower Bridge, and if I go the other way, you get to Westminster, and there's the Houses of Parliament and the London Eye, all these great landmarks, and all this history all around us, and it is amazing. So I'm still getting used to that. I moved last summer, so in a way I've only known living here in the middle of lockdown, and it has been really deserted and quiet on the Strand and in the city centre. So, I'm getting used to seeing more people around, and I'm very excited actually to see what it'll be like, especially perhaps as we get into the autumn and things open up again and people are coming back here. It'll be great to see the crowds, but I haven't really experienced London with lots of people in it since living here.
That's wow. That's welcome to London. There's also lots of changes happening here in the area, not just because of the pandemic itself, but also there's a pedestrianisation project here in the Strand-Aldwych. Have you heard about it? Do you know about it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, in a way, that's why I'm here, actually. So Mary-Le-Strand, which is this beautiful church, is quite unusual in that it was built in the middle of the road. So it is right in the middle of the Strand. And sometimes people call it an island church, because it's not like a kind of traffic island. I'm told the taxi drivers and bus drivers call it St Mary's in the Way, because it gets in the way of the traffic. From their point of view, it's an obstacle. But it is about to be liberated from this island setting because this stretch of the Strand is going to be pedestrianised, which will be amazing for St Mary-Le-Strand. I think it's going to be great for the district, for all the organisations around here like King's College London and Somerset House and the Courtauld. Is just going to allow this to be much more of a destination rather than a thoroughfare, if you like. But for St Mary's particularly, it's going to be transformative because, instead of being St Mary's in the Way, cut off by buses and taxis and all the traffic, it's going to become the centrepiece of this new kind of piazza and be so much more accessible. And so actually I've been appointed really to help the church here engage with that regeneration, make new connections with all these organisations around us, and lead a major restoration and development of the church building.
Oh wow! So there's a lot of changes also happening with St Mary's itself.
Yeah.
I'm curious then to know what kind of plans do you have? What do you have in mind?
The big thing is to make the church much more accessible and open to people, and to re-engage with all these different organisations around us. But also, as this pedestrianisation happens, we're hoping that lots more people will be visiting the area, and it is a beautiful building, and there's a lot of heritage here for people to explore. So we want to be open for visitors, just coming to the services and worship and pray, but also just to take in the beauty of the building and the heritage. We see St Mary's as being a bit like it's going to be a sanctuary at the centre of this new pedestrianised area. So it will be a place of peace and calm, but we also want it to be if you like, a public centre where there can be lectures and talks and a cultural centre, so there can be exhibitions and concerts and really contributing to the life of the community. The things we're going to do, there's probably sort of three aspects to the work, really. Like, one is the church is nearly 300 years old, so there's a bit of wear and tear. It needs a bit of what we call TLC. So there's just to make the stonework safe and in good repair. We need to make the building much more accessible. You have to come up steps to get in at the moment, so we want to create step-free access. The interior of the church needs quite a lot of work doing. There was so it was built 300 years ago, which was the sort of Georgian period, and then in around 1870, in the Victorian period, there was quite a lot of reorganisation of the interior of the church, and in a way that's all got a bit tired now, and it can feel quite cluttered. So what we actually want to do is kind of, in a way, take it back to a slightly simpler Georgian layout. So it is a restoration job. We want to make the things like the seating all flexible, though, so it can be rearranged for different events. So we'll have a sort of restored interior, perhaps looking a bit more like it did originally when it was finished in 1724. But adaptable and flexible, so it can be used for all kinds of modern usage, whether that's public talks or art exhibitions or concerts, all those enhanced uses, as well as being a place of worship. And then the other thing we're going to do, because there's no real sort of little what's called ancillary space. There's no kind of meeting rooms, or there's not really space for. There's one toilet. There's a tiny kitchen. What we want to do, there's a crypt underneath the church, and we want to kind of adapt the crypt to create a meeting room, kitchens, toilets, storage, which will serve the space above, and hopefully just again make it all that much more usable, for everyone. We want it to, it's the thing. I say for St Mary-Le-Strand, we're going to be open to God and open to all.
Wow, thank you.
Dreams holding us closer.